Welcome to Leadership Chats with Greg. Today I am joined by Kelli Carpenter, who is a friend, and I'm also a client of your travel agency.
Yes, you are.
But we are very honored that you would be willing to sit down with me and talk a little bit about your life journey to leadership.
Well, I was honored you asked me.
So first, you did not start in travel, right?
No, I did not.
So what was your leadership journey to where you are today with the company that you've built?
So my journey started, I graduated from college, SMU in Dallas, and I was desperately searching for a job in advertising. Advertising was so hot then. It was before computers, we were faxing layouts, and it was just a really hot industry to be in. And I finally, after selling artwork to hospitals and hotels for many years, finally landed my first job in advertising and fell in love with it, fell in love with the sleeping overnight on the sofas and really being in that entry-level role and knowing that in that entry-level role, if I worked hard enough, that I could eventually move to the leadership role. I worked in various advertising agencies over the course of, multiple years. I was transferred to Chicago to lead an office there and changed accounts. I was on the Pepsi-Cola account, then I was on the Coca-Cola account, and then I landed a job working on the Kellogg's account. And I was in charge of the relationship between Kellogg's and Nickelodeon, which was a really fun thing because I had kids at the time. So, of course, you would think that I was in charge of the toys the kids would get inside the cereal boxes.
Oh, wow.
So, not only did I feel like a leadership in my career, but at my house I was quite popular. But anyway, I would say the biggest jump that happened to me career-wise, and it was after years and years of a lot of long hours, and also, being the person that I am as a corporate person. I think it takes a certain amount of being humble and learning and messing up a lot, and owning the messing up a lot. I was able to land my first not agency side job, but corporate job at Nickelodeon in New York City. And I feel like that is where I really can look at my career, and I felt like I've landed, and now it's really time for me to take my place and start to grow. And I took that job on, my boss at the time is now a dear friend of mine, and probably a month after I took the job, I'd never worked on the corporate side. A month after I took the job, she left. Oh, wow. And I had to hire a whole team. And I was like, I don't have any idea how to do this. And so it was really trial by fire, and I hired a whole team, and a whole team of people that are really good at doing things that I'm not good at doing. And I think that that's an important leadership quality, is to know what you're really good at and what you're not great at. And you bring people in that actually are good at that. And I worked at Nickelodeon for many years, and I left Nickelodeon to stay home with my kids for a little bit, and I freelanced with them. And I came across one of my good friends and now my current business partner of 24 years. He said, I've got this idea. We should take the idea of what these other LGBTQ travel businesses do and take the expertise, take the fact that you're part of the family business, and let's create a company for LGBTQ. Family travel is how the company started. And I had never run my own company. I was always somebody that was very good at handing certain things off. And then, as you know, when you work for yourself, there's no one to hand anything off to. You do it all on your own. And it was the two of us. And we launched at the time our family vacations, and that was 24 years ago.
4 years ago, that was revolutionary. We really were pioneers and I think built a transformational moment for travel and for families.
It was a very new time for LGBTQ families, very new. And so also we didn't know, we took every booking and every reservation, but once everybody showed up and Greg and I walked on stage to welcome everybody, I was like, wow, we had no idea what to expect. And everybody was searching for this to exist. And so that's what the company was for many years, one cruise ship charter a year. And we became a community, I would say. Not really it was a business, but it was more about community. And, we have people that have traveled with us and their kids have grown up, and now we do a lot of adult only travel. So, but yeah, at that time, it was definitely groundbreaking.
So you just said something that I hadn't really thought about, which was you said we did one charter a year. So that had to be a deliberate conversation at some point with you and Greg going, do we scale this? Like, like one a year, but there's always that, you got to grow, you've got to do more,
Yeah.
you've got to. So was there deliberate thought around that? Did it just sort of happen that way? How did you manage the desire to grow with also the ability to stay true to what you do, you still have to make a little profit?
And it's actually a great question because the business model is a very complicated business model. There are only 3 weeks out of the year that every kid in the United States is out of school.
Wow.
And so that also narrows down the time period that you can charter a ship. So let's start with that. So the business model is already an uphill battle because that's the time that the cruise ships are hot also. So they're going to sell it to you at a really high price. So basically when you charter a ship, you buy the ship, you repackage it, and you resell it. So we did sell out a couple of ships, and your growth is you double your inventory. That's your only option, is to charter a second ship. And when I talked in the beginning about making mistakes and learning from those mistakes, we made the mistake of doing that, and it was a huge financial loss to us. So it was a big learning curve. You can't grow a business by doubling your inventory. You grow it incrementally and slow, and there really wasn't a way to do that with that business. We probably should have just maybe looked at a ranch or a resort or just something different. But instead, we chartered a second cruise ship, and it was an expensive price to pay.
How have the travel patterns changed in the 24 years? Have you seen change?
I have seen change. I find that when we first launched the company, it was, and also the other LGBTQ companies that existed, there was an issue about safety. Like they felt like they needed to be just together to feel safe, to hold hands, to do whatever it is. And I find now it's less about safety, community, common things that you enjoy together, just enjoying being together and having that sense of, yes, we enjoy music, yes, we enjoy comedy, yes, we're going to go see the world together, and we have a common denominator. I find in just the travel industry, people are looking, especially post-pandemic, that fear of it could be lost again, that people are now really wanting to sort of meet their bucket list items, be a little more adventurous, look for those things that are, when we're older, we won't be able to do it, items. So I do find that people are liking smaller, more adventure travel.
How do you position yourself in an industry that can be easily commoditized? How do you position yourself in your business model so that you aren't a commodity?
Look, I think you can't replace relationships. That is my number one thing. And I have relationships with all my suppliers. And they are boots on the ground, and they have relationships with every train, every hotel, every car service company, and I trust them. And I would say that is really, really important. And look, we all love some ChatGPT. We love AI. We're learning how to use it. But I'm going to tell you that I can say, if we're in port on this ship that we're on, and I'm like, I'm going to be in, Hammerfest, Norway, and I'm looking for 3 places for lunch. 2 of those 3 are not going to be open. So it's not always correct. So it's you can use it as an idea generator, or if you're drafting a business letter or a proposal, but I would not use it in lieu of somebody who has the relationship and the expertise to plan a trip, because trips are expensive.
Right.
And you want somebody that's going to take care of you along the way if you're paying the money.
Right. What is next for you? Do you scale up KelliGregg Travel?
Our path, our family vacations was very confusing to people. They were like, well, I don't have kids, so I can't come on your trips. And now the majority of our trips are adult only. So I feel like we needed to change the brand to reflect that. And we met with a branding company, and when all these ideas, what it came down to is the brand is really me and Greg. And so it actually was probably the smartest move we ever did, not trying to come up with a new name for our company. It's just KelliGregg Travel. And we are following where the guests are taking us. So when I said earlier, people are looking for this smaller, more high-end exploration travel, we're following that path too. So I feel like we are we're continuing with our tours, our land tours, but we are staying with this sort of yacht idea because people seem to really enjoy that. River cruising, I absolutely love, and we're very fortunate to have a relationship with Uniworld, and that's going to continue through the years. As far as me and, look, Greg is my age too, and us getting older, I don't think either of us see retirement anytime soon, because we can continue to do it, and I can work anywhere I have Wi-Fi, and I know you're the same way. So if I have Wi-Fi, I can keep working, and as long as, my health stays good and I'm still loving it, no reason for me not to keep doing it.
So if somebody was only going to take one trip
Oh no.
out of the United States, because they, for whatever reason, they could only go once, what is the one trip that somebody should take?
Oof. That's a rough one.
I know.
Oh man, there's so many favorite places that I have. Are we looking at one part of the world or just anywhere in the world?
Anywhere.
Anywhere in the world. I mean, if I was going to take a trip anywhere in the world, I love Italy.
Okay.
And you know what I love about it is it delivers on your dream of what do you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like the historical piece, the people are loud and hot-blooded, and the food is amazing, and the wine is amazing, and the history is there. I just think if you have one place that you want it to feel different than the United States, I think Italy is that place.
So the thing about travel, and it's embodied in what you do with you, it's embodied in Travel Like Greg and how it has become part of my management consulting and everything else, is that travel, if you let it, travel can connect humanity at our core level.
Well, it erases any of the ideas that we're all so different.
Right. 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 But you have to let it.
Yeah.
Kelli, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Talking with me today, and thank you for the leadership you've provided in our community, but also just the leadership and the positivity that you put out into the world. And so thank you again, Kelli Carpenter, one of the co-founders of KelliGregg Travel.